I love bad movies. What's considered terrible, awful, bad movies. It's
Mhm.
almost pathological how much I love, horror films, movies that become cult films. And
Mhm.
I recently saw a
I know where this
bad
is going.
movie that's actually a bad movie. It's
Uh,
it's terrible.
Are you just saying this is your topic just to argue with me?
No, no, no. I'm going to bring up the movie that I saw, and then I have a question about it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
the bad movie I saw is called Xanadu, and it stars Olivia Newton-John.
Mhm. Mhm.
Was it Michael Beck
Yeah.
and Gene Kelly in his last movie, and Olivia Newton-John off the heels of Grease, and Michael Beck off the heels of Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Great movies, fantastic movies with the iconic Gene Kelly, okay?
Mhm.
So not knowing anything about the movie, that should be a pretty cool movie. It's 1980, what? 1980?
I thought it was 1980, but I don't know. I don't remember.
So it's got the 80s vibe. It's a roller skating disco movie about muses and art. And it should be a fun, wild ride.
Mhm.
And it's terrible. The writing is terrible. The acting, the story is incompetent. And I'll give you a moment, but like even the roller skating kind of sucks. The choreography is not good. And then when I did a deep dive into the movie,
Yeah.
everyone who worked on it said it sucked. It's a bad movie. Somehow got to a cult status. And I appreciate that you saw it as a teenager, right? Or before you were a teenager?
No,
How
I
old
saw
were
it as
you?
look. Okay. First of all, I would love a short video of you doing a deep dive into Xanadu. I don't know what that entailed, but also, yes, I saw that movie. I saw it when I was a little kid because it was one of the very few VHS tapes my family had, and so if you're of a certain age, you remember, like we had that. We had Star Wars. Flight of the Navigator, maybe? I don't know. There were like a few just movies that we watched over and over and over.
The Secret of Nim.
No, but anyway, Xanadu was one of them. I watched it many, many times. And I think I didn't realize that you were going to watch it. I think that the problem is if you watch it for the first time as an adult, it's a different experience than if you watch it for the first time and you're however old I was.
Sure.
6 years old, or I don't know how old. Yeah. I mean,
No, and I
look,
agree.
if I watched it now and if I watched it like sober, expecting a great film experience, like your expectations, I hope, were low. When you
they were low, going in, and yes, everything context is everything. And like I said, I started this by saying I love a good bad film.
Look, go on.
It's not a good, but that's not what I want to talk about.
Well, let me just say, all you've done is shit on Xanadu for the last like 2 days, and blaming me for it, and not said one good thing about it.
The music is good.
Yeah, the music's good.
Yes.
Come on.
And the Olivia Newton-John you want is the one that ends Grease, right?
Well, that's the Olivia Newton-John you want.
Yeah. That's right.
You just wanted her to be like in tight pants.
Hey, I'm the universal you. Okay.
No, she looks great. She's great.
No, she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
And she's on roller skates. And then the last scene in Xanadu, I love, like they're spinning around and around and they're going around in the thing and they're all different. It's like that last scene is like warriors on roller skates. They're little different groups of people.
That's true.
And then,
I will give you that.
And then there's that weird, and this isn't good at all, but there's that weird scene where it's animated and you're like, what's happening? And this is terrible.
I know. But so I give it like an A for effort, maybe an A for effort.
Well, it's just so weird. And like they come on. They come out of the wall, like the women coming out of walls. That's gotta be your dream. And then at the very beginning, I love that his job is he just paints big old album covers.
Yes.
Which that would be
he
a
being
great
Michael
job.
Beck, who's the lead male, who's the love interest. And he's like a true artist, and he doesn't want to like paint recreate album covers for the company. He wants to make his own art. Although we never see what that is. So I don't know what he's pining for.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Or maybe because she's the muse, he will figure it out later.
And their hair is all very well conditioned, and they meet the. I will say, and I told you this, the worst part about it is Gene Kelly. The most you're like, oh, or at least when I was a child, I only have my kid perspective because that's how I always see it. But like, and aren't people sort of looking hot at the end? Like, aren't they showing skin and like, you know, sort of sexy?
Sort
maybe?
of. It's very PG.
But Gene Kelly, oh my God, those scenes are like, dragging, and it's like they put on the outfits and
the outfits being like 1940s,
and,
military.
That's really tough.
It was a weird contrast because it's trying to like do this thing where it's like handing off the baton of old classic dance and old classic music to the new, which is supposed to be like 80s, you know, disco era, right?
Well, I love it, and the title begins with an X.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's great. And I don't think I've ever done, I'm sure I've written about it at some point over the years. I did interview Michael Beck once. He was a lovely person.
Wait, what would you interview him for?
I interviewed him because
what did he do after Xanadu?
He was doing audiobooks. He was doing like voicing audiobooks. And I asked him a lot of questions about, and he was like, did you want to talk to me because of Xanadu? I was like, yeah, kind of.
Oh. All right. Well,
anyway, I think there's a lot to appreciate about Xanadu. I realize that wasn't, you have other points to make, but I understand your criticism, but you're not, you got to go with it. Go.
Electric Light Orchestra was great. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, and before I get into my question, my based on what you're just saying, when was the last time you saw Xanadu?
I just had another thought. The last time I saw Xanadu, I think it was, I think I wrote about it many, many years ago for an anniversary story. So I think like a special edition of Xanadu came out on DVD, and that's why I wrote about it. But that would have been, I mean,
but did you see it?
In 80?
Did you see it then?
It's probably been, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you like it?
I think I still have that DVD. Well, yeah, because I have all sorts of, look, we were talking about this earlier. I have all sorts of memories attached to it. I'm sure there are terrible movies that you like because you have nostalgic memories. We were talking about that with Ewoks because I was at Ewok. I was prime Ewok age. And you were
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. And you were too old for Ewoks, but I was down.
Did you have an Ewok backpack?
No, but I did have glasses when like McDonald's or whatever restaurant, it was either McDonald's or it was usually McDonald's that would do the glasses, like the commemorative glasses. And I think my parents still have them from
I was thinking eyeglasses. You mean drinking glasses?
The drinking glasses. Yeah. And I had like a little, record player, and I think I still have it, like the record, and it was like, you would have a book and read along with like the Ewok story. There was a lot of Ewok, and then there was an Ewok TV movie that was also one of the few VHS tapes that we had that I watched.
They really
a lot
sold too. Ewok.
They really did.
Lore a lot.
I know.
Xanadu is, what does that mean to you when you don't think about the movie? What is Xanadu?
It's like utopia.
Like a utopia, like a paradise, right?
Yeah.
So my question, and I'll try to answer it as well.
I don't know what.
What is your Xanadu?
This is like a big question to hit me with without any preparation.
That's right. That's okay.
You said, "Oh, I know a question to ask you," and I thought it would have an easy answer. What is my Xanadu?
Just think about what's your utopia? What's your paradise? What do you want? If you could populate and map out a space.
Yeah, it's not this world we're living in currently. My utopia. Well, I have many versions of it. Like it could be, it could be, New York, the way that if you want like a general place, like the way it was before. My utopia, it would be like, I don't know. It would be all the things probably that I miss about the world. It would be like, well, I've always said my perfect day would be, and I can't really do it anymore, I guess, would be to just start like pretty hot, like start, I don't know what street in Manhattan, and walk all the way down.
Like down Broadway or something?
Walk all the way home, basically. To
right.
Brooklyn. So that's not really a Xanadu, but that's my perfect day. And then to like, you know, stop and eat pierogies and wander in bookstores and see movies and bands and all the things that are around right now. But then I have another Xanadu, which is like, you know, like Tennessee, where I've got space and time, all the things I don't have here. So,
but you understand that the idea of Xanadu, I think, is mashing up all the things you love.
Sure.
That's what the end of the movie was like, is mashing up different genres and music and dance styles and clothing and people, you know? And so I think you could figure out a way to merge what you miss, what you love, what the place that you would love to be in, your Xanadu. You know? So,
So it'd be like my Xanadu would be like a Southern New York, like, you know, lots of like frantic creative energy, but also, you know, like pork products and beautiful scenery.
You mean like a hot dog stand that also has like biscuits and gravy?
Oh yeah.
You know, like a mashup of different foods. And what about music? You know, like, I mean, I know New York's famous for having, in the before times, you know, any kind of place you can go to listen to any kind of music, you know? So I guess that isn't something you'd be necessarily missing from Tennessee, because you would get a little bit of Tennessee.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, not at all. But I do like the ability to have, like, you know, not totally true now, but generally in New York, you can get what you want anytime you want. Right. Which I love. I want a grilled cheese. It's 3:30 in the morning. I'm going to order, and look, I've done it. I know how lazy that is. That sounds terrible, but I have ordered a grilled cheese really late at night.
That's what New York does for you, or did for you. Now, like, listen, I don't go to bars a lot, and I don't go drinking a lot, but there's certain spaces I like to go to once in a while. But I don't ever arrive to those places before 10 p.m. And bars today close at 10 p.m., which means if you want to go to get a drink and hang out, you have to do it like 7, 8 p.m. I'm like, I'm still in the middle of my day working, you know? So that's gone out the window.
Now you can't even do, I mean, that's if you want to sit outside.
And with the winter, So, I mean, I was thinking a little bit while you were expressing yourself about personal Xanadu. And I think part of, I guess, one's Xanadu is what you miss. And I feel like my Xanadu is some of the places that have left us, especially during the pandemic. Like there's a place called La Caridad that's located at 78th Street and Broadway, or no longer there anymore because it closed down. And that's a famous kind of Chinese Cuban restaurant where I would get like my favorite pork chops and yellow rice and black beans with garlic and the best wonton soup. And I can't believe that was taken away. So I want my Xanadu to have a La Caridad.
Rice and beans and wonton soup all under one roof?
Yes. Chinese food, great. Spanish food. I mean, there are some places that still exist like that, like Flor de Mayo. And we have one here in Brooklyn called El Nuevo Portal, which I think has some Chinese food dishes as well. Maybe not. But that's what I grew up. I grew up in the Upper West Side. I grew up a block away from this place. So this is like food from, you know, that I got in my mother's embryo when I was an embryo, you know, like in her womb. So that's a place I miss. I miss going to the Russian Turkish bathhouse on 10th Street between 1st and A.
Yeah, I'm glad I went there before. That was right before all this happened.
You got sick like the next day.
The next day.
And I think what the Russian
next day. I think it go on. I think it was. I think I was the patient zero. I think I was the first COVID.
But not. I don't think it's because of the meaning not the people there. I think it activated.
I think
what you had caught outside or something. You know.
Something happened. It stirred something.
So La Caridad, the Russian Turkish bathhouse, Wohop, which thankfully does still exist on 17 Mott Street in Chinatown, Manhattan. Where you go downstairs And I think you've been there once. I think I took you there once.
Your personal Xanadu is just
food. No. But that's the food of my Xanadu. Okay. So let's say those 3 places.
And Olivia Newton-John.
Well, I love her, but I'd probably pick someone else, music-wise. Well, I mean, speaking of, like, I would want Prince to be back, and he's my favorite.
Oh, musician. I didn't know that in Xanadu you could resurrect people. That changes.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, because now we're bringing it up when we're talking about it. But I feel like it's also like I miss going to. Well, there are some comic shops that still exist, but obviously I'm a cartoonist. I love comic books. I used to love going to a place called See Here, which was where you could get zines and odds and ends magazines and weird stuff and underground culture, or this is the alternative culture, the subcultures of all the artists, and that would be a great place of discovery. I feel like my Xanadu is still a place where you literally stumble across physical things. Now you have to be on the internet and go, through rabbit holes, which is fair and fine. That's how people discover things today. But you almost earned it, back in the day when you would have to go to stores that were curating,
well, you
really
say this
cool
also
stuff.
As somebody who grew up in New York. If you grew up, you really had, you talk about having to work for it. You didn't have to work that hard. I mean, it was still there. You could just walk to where,
That's true.
Geez, That's true. Grew up in the woods.
So how did you find like a cool, like alternative thing that wasn't like Barry Manilow or Barbra Streisand?
Because through just knowing people, like, cool people. Maybe you've got, like, I had a, cousin who was into cool stuff, who introduced me to, like, cool music.
Do you have an older brother or a younger brother?
I have a younger brother.
Oh, so he wasn't turning you on to the cool stuff.
No, he's like into metal and stuff. But yeah, or just like magazines, really. I mean, like
People magazine would turn you on to the
no, like Sassy magazine, or like maybe Rolling Stone, or Spin actually was cooler, I think, than Rolling Stone. Yeah, I mean,
so that's where you would discover music and books, I guess.
I mean, even through any way you could. I mean, I guess I can't. Can we curse on these things? Yes. The Columbia record and tape. I bet you never did that.
I did that
over and over again. And I've got to say, like, their inventory, I got some, like, a more kind of obscure things.
So I remember, like, I bought vinyl records, right, or cassette tapes. I never did 8-track. That was a little bit before, or maybe I wasn't the age appropriate for 8-track, and then that went away, even though it was in cars and stuff. And so I had cassette tapes, vinyl records, and then I was like, oh my God, I got to do CDs next, because that's the next thing of how you can listen to music. And I remember using the Columbia House, what was it called? Like Music House or something? Columbia House. And for like $1 or a penny, you could get like 12 CDs, and then you'd be put on a track of like having to buy them at a regular price or more expensive at some point. If you didn't opt out, you had to opt out at the right time, And I remember getting my first CDs through that system. Oh. And then suddenly I'm doing the CD thing. And like, I got out of that, subscription service or whatever it was. And now I'm going to stores and buying CDs. And I guess that's the last way. I guess today people just download, what's it called? M16, or no, that's a machine gun, an MP3.
You sound so old. What are you talking about?
Download.
People don't really download. That most people stream.
Oh, stream.
I mean, you can download stuff, but
how do people know what they have, or do they even care about owning anything? I guess not. I guess you just turn something on, just the button, and you get the thing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So wait. Okay. Your personal Xanadu.
My Xanadu
is food, comics, physical. It's just chock full of stuff. It's got wall-to-wall
books, movies, like a 1,000-year library of the best cinema and television.
Okay.
Pop culture. I love pop culture. You love pop culture. We love pop culture. We are Nightwork. right there. Okay.
I just want, biscuits and public transportation and some, I don't know. You didn't give me enough time to prepare.
I'm sorry, but in a way, you want your Xanadu to return, because you had something of a Xanadu.
Personal Xanadu is the name of my new experimental jazz album.
Okay, well, I'm sorry I sprung that question on.
No, it was a good. It was a good one. I'll keep thinking. I'll deliver better answers. There are a lot of people I'd like to bring back to life, though, if that's possible.
What is your Xanadu?
Wait. Oh, you're pointing to the. Oh my God.
To the listener.
Okay, I think it's time to stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Personal Xanadu.
That was okay, right?
I think it was okay.
Do you want to do another one? You said you had a question. You want to spring one on me?
No.
Come on.
No, I don't know. I don't have a question.
I thought you had one.
I mean, I said I'd come up with one.
Oh, okay. You don't have one. Okay.
Oh, no. Why is it not having trouble connecting? And the broadcast, it's still recording?
Well, we can edit it. And the broadcast.
And the broadcast. What's wrong here?
Maybe the top button? I don't know.
Having trouble. Okay, not yet. We're going to end the broadcast. Why is the internet not working? But it's still counting like it's
live. This isn't broadcasting on Facebook or YouTube, is it?
No,
we haven't done that yet.
It says record only. Wouldn't that be funny if it were? Well,
Do you need to stand up?
Oh my gosh. Let's not edit any of this out.
Now. And
well, I'm wondering, it's like looking for networks. I don't understand. End broadcast.
Why is it looking for networks?
It's like there's something wrong with the internet connection.
Was it recording?
It says it is. I mean, if it says end broadcast and
what's the leave studio X button? Do you need to do that? Well, somehow, do you need to hit something that saves it?
Where does it say? Well, that's how you save it. It's end broadcast and it automatically saves. Leave studio.